Greetings, y'all. I'm here, I'm sweating, and there's a fire going. I am back on the farm. My name is Deja, and I hope you find serenity. I hope you find serenity. I hope you find serenity. All right, y'all. So, I can't lie. Coming back to the farm was really triggering because I left my dog Angel, this lady. I had the neighbor and some friends stopping by to feed her, but, I didn't have anyone cleaning the house, so she run around in the mud, and then she was running around on the bed and on the couch, so got all those blankets super dirty, and I'll put my phone down for a second. Yeah, there was that, and also, my house is open, so lots of leaves come in with all the storms, so lots of leaves on the floor. The toads come in and they shit on the floor, so I just have so much to clean. And, coming back from the States after a trip, it's nice to come into a nice, clean, and settled space. But with the farm, it has to be cleaned all the time. I cleaned it really good before I left, but I was gone for a little over 2 weeks. And yeah, the jungle takes the house back for sure. So I got back and I was super overwhelmed, and I needed to just lay down and rest for a long time before I got the energy to get my booty up and start to do some work. So I came outside. I got the grass cut while I was away. He just cut it the other day. And so I was just raking the dry grass. And that's what I'm burning now. I love the process of making a big fire on the farm after I've been away, because it just re-clears that space. And then the smoke cleanses the land. And yeah, look at that. It's getting a nice smudge. And what's being burnt is from the land itself. So it's renewing its own energy, releasing what wasn't serving, and starting fresh. And as you can see, work has been getting done. Over here we have this beautiful hibiscus. The ants have been eating a lot of stuff, but it's doing okay. Yeah, so I'm getting this bamboo fence built. I got all these bars of bamboo, and it was only enough for this little corner, so I'm going to continue along there. And then in front of the bamboo, I want to plant some things, because this bamboo won't last forever, But I want to plant some, bushes and different smaller trees along the border of the land. And yeah, it's nice. I can see clearly what I want to do as far as redoing the garden space and planting some more trees. Yeah, I'm grateful. It's a lot of work, so at first I always get a bit overwhelmed before I have to do a lot of farm work, especially by myself, but I always end up feeling better once I'm doing that work. So I actually just sat down and made a schedule for the week, and I'm going to give myself time each day to do some projects here. I want to take good care of the land, especially because I was away. I can really feel the difference when I'm not here. My energy leaving the space does change the energy of this whole space. It really does. It really does change everything. But I'm grateful to be back. Grateful for the opportunity to care for land. I'm learning so much through it, and I missed it. I can't lie. I was really enjoying some of the luxuries of the States. I was really comfortable. So coming back is a little bit of a shock. Then the water was out, and then I had issues with the tank, so I didn't even fill my water yet. I just got water from my neighbor, and I'm going to go bathe in the river, because, child, yeah, I'm surviving. But I'm learning some great lessons, and I want to talk more about them, but I'm going to finish what I'm doing here and then get back with y'all. Y'all, I filmed a whole video about being back. I think on like my first day back or the day after. And I'm gonna clip it here without the audio because it was actually really cute, a cute moment as far as like Mantra and Angel being on me throughout the video, and I really loved that. Like Mantra got in my lap for a long time, and he doesn't usually do that. So I mean, he does, but just not all the time. So I could tell he was giving me so much love because he missed me while I was away. I was in the States for just over 2 weeks, and so yeah, I'm gonna show y'all a little bit from that video here and there, but I decided to record again because today I'm feeling a lot more centered. And that day I felt like I was rambling. Like, y'all, I am the ramble queen. My Mercury is in Aquarius. And if you know, you know, like air sign Mercuries, we just be talking. So sometimes I get a little lost in the sauce, and I didn't want that. I could feel how, because I didn't think all the way through what I wanted to speak about before speaking, that I was speaking kind of all over the place, and I want to just be more clear with y'all. So I was in the States. You may remember from my video back in May that I just started a relationship, and the person is in Atlanta. So like I did a whole video about dating life in Costa Rica and how it's so dead here. So of course, as it turns out, I end up in a long distance relationship, at least for now. And yeah, so I went back to see him and also to see my family because he literally lives right by my family. So that's really convenient. And it was a wonderful trip, y'all. And there was just so much perfect alignment taking place. I was really reminded, just like last time, just how the peace and the love in my heart that I've cultivated, how I carry it with me everywhere I go. And so I did experience a lot of love, you know, and even there were some things that I experienced that I saw that, you know, it wasn't as pretty as Costa Rica, you know, not to even want to compare them. But, you know, like I can say that I love my quality of life here. And this is my home. Like, this is my preference. This is my preference. But also there are many things that I love about many other places. Honestly, anywhere in the world. And I think I'm growing less and less attached to the borders. And the truth is, I just like being on Earth. You know, I really felt that. I was like, I felt so much happiness and peace and love in my heart there, no matter what I was experiencing, even though it was different than here. Like, I realized I'm not too picky. And I am, though, but like, I bring what I love to whatever space I'm in, you know? And also I attract things that make me feel safe and make me feel comfortable, make me feel at home. Like, I really carry that energy. I wrote a while back, and I mentioned it in a video, like, I'm home within myself, so I could never be lost. And I feel that. I feel like I go anywhere on the earth, and I could really feel, you know, love. So, yeah, and also I like Georgia, you know? There's something, I was really experiencing, like, okay, so we may not all think the same, but I am a person who believes that we are creating this reality, and our thoughts, our words, our actions are all like our emotions, even all of those things are creating, you know, molding what we experience, you know? So I believe in the law of attraction. When I learned about that, when I was like maybe 19, like ever since then, my life changed because before that time, I was a victim. I let myself be a victim. I let myself play the role of the world is out to get me. Bad things happen to me, and I have to watch out because bad things are always happening, and they want to happen to me because I'm a woman and because I'm black and because I'm not rich or whatever those thoughts were, the story that I created for myself. And as soon as I learned, oh, whatever you think about yourself is what you create, I was like, oh, it was me all along. And it's empowering, y'all. Like, don't get scared because it's not about, oh, I take all the blame. Like, I do, but also it's like, no, but I have the power. Now that I know this, how am I going to think? How am I going to speak? How am I going to act? Now that I know how important those things are, how powerful just my thoughts are, how many bad thoughts I've got, how many negative thoughts I observe going through, the doubts, the worry, the fears. And now with that loving awareness, I'm like, oh, I don't have to be afraid. I don't have to be afraid. Oh, I don't have to worry. Everything always works out. Even if I go through challenges, everything always works out. And it was just so empowering. And I feel very empowered now. I feel like I also can't blame others. You know? I can observe their actions. I can see how those actions make me feel, you know? But it's still not a place of blame or trying to find what's wrong when I know we're just creating it. And people are creating either from a conscious place or an unconscious place. And sometimes when people create from an unconscious place, it feels uncomfortable. But when you realize it's all a dream and that's just what they're choosing to create, and I can choose to create something else, I ain't even worried about it. Do you? Do your thing, God. But I'm going to show up and I'm going to create what I want to create. And what I do choose to create is a world of love. Like, I love that people feel good and comfortable around me. I like to radiate loving, accepting, non-judgmental energy because I'm so in tune with nature, and that's what I get from nature. Non-judgment. Just exuding peace, beauty, stability. That's what I'm trying to be, right? A safe place. Okay. I got a little off track, but that was an important channel message for y'all to hear. That really was. I'm grateful. So yeah, I had a wonderful trip. I'm not going to talk to y'all too in detail about everything, so get out my business. You know, I'll tell y'all more about the relationship at a later date. But overall, I had a wonderful time. And yeah, I'm happy to be back. It's interesting, when I was away, like, I get so sucked into that world that it really felt like that was my whole life. Like, I was literally living in Georgia. And even though it was only I think it was 17 days that I was there. 16 or 17 days. But yeah, y'all, I literally morphed into that land. And I would every now and then come back to Costa Rica, and it was like being in a dream. I've had dreams before where I dreamt a whole life, like weeks and weeks of life, and then I woke up back in this realm. And sometimes that's what it feels like when I travel. Like, it feels like I'm in this ongoing dream, and I still remember that my real life is in Costa Rica. Oh, there's a car coming. Come on, Angel. Okay. So, bless you. Okay, so even in the dream of Georgia, I still remember that when I wake up, I'm going to wake up here in Costa Rica. And I'm like, we already be multidimensional traveling. I really feel like that's another dimension. I feel like this is another dimension. And now, because of technology and because of, even the technology of airplanes, like, we have to go to the airport, the portal, to go through portals to end up in other dimensions. And I feel like I mentioned this in a video before, but I'm back again. Like, and if you haven't even seen that video, this is important. Like, we're already traveling through time and space. Like, the energy is different here. The frequency is different. I feel different, I see the changes in how I think. I see changes in how I eat, for sure. And I see changes even in my physical body, So yeah, I really feel like we already be going through different dimensions, and we've chosen to name them and give them this story of their countries and their continents and all that. But I'm like, it's just one earth. At the end of the day, it's all connected. It's all one earth. At the core of the earth, it's all connected, and all of the roots of all the trees are all connected. So it's just one place, But then within it, you can travel through different dimensions, different geographic locations, different frequencies. When you look at the geographic location, the longitude, latitude, that looks like some coding. It looks like codes. What if those codes are the frequency of this place, and it has a specific location, so it has a specific frequency? So yeah, I feel myself attuning to this frequency of Costa Rica, but I also still have that channel within me of Georgia. So I'm able to flip to that channel and be there and feel a sense of being at home and a sense of comfort. And a quick, like, this I've been wanting to share about, and for my astrology girlies, y'all are gonna really get me. So, Angel, venga. So, on our birth chart, I've been learning lately about the houses, because I do love astrology, but there's still so much to learn. So I can't say I'm a master, but I do know a lot. And yeah, basically I was looking at my house placements and what those mean for me in my life. And my fourth house, which is the house that represents like home and family, is in Gemini. And that always made a lot of sense to me, because all my life, like, I had my mom and my dad, they were separated. Like, they were never married, but, you know, they weren't together. And I would be either with my mom or my dad, and they both had a very distinct kind of parenting style and living situation. Like, it was completely different living with my dad than it was living with my mom. And then I would go between the two places. And my dad was always in Atlanta or somewhere nearby. And then my mom was always moving. So I just had these two very distinctly different timelines happening simultaneously for my childhood. And because that's related to my home life, even now, I see myself still manifesting that kind of life, because that's what feels comfortable to me, like having two lives, basically. Like seeing myself like having a life here in Costa Rica and having a whole life in Georgia. Because when I'm there, I'm like, I have a whole life. I have friends. I have a partner there now. My whole family's here. Like, not my whole family's in Georgia, but, you know, a lot of my family is there. So it's just like, yeah, it's like, this is my other life. You know, it just feels so seamless to swim, as the Pisces that I am, to swim between those two worlds. And yeah, my fourth house is in Gemini, which Gemini and Pisces have that in common, like the two sides, you know. And so that was just an interesting tidbit I wanted to share with y'all. Like, and go check out your fourth house and see how you're recreating that energy now that you might have experienced in your home when you were a child. And I am unlocking new ways to like do inner child work with people through astrology now that I'm learning about the houses, y'all. So I'm so excited. I love to learn new things. I love to grow. I love to expand. That's why I love to travel and move through these dimensions, because I always learn so much through like real life experience. That's like my favorite way to learn, is experiential learning. And I want to include that too in how I teach, you know, because I am a teacher as well. And I'm wanting to have in the future like more opportunities for kids, especially once I have kids. You know, I want to homeschool and stuff. So I want to do things where I'm teaching young people and people of all ages, really, but teaching them more through experiences and getting out of the classroom. That's a super side note. Anyways, thank y'all for listening. I ended up rambling anyway. It's who I am. Love y'all so much. Thank you for listening. Peace.